if you stop and think about the evolution of ag mechanization over the last 100 years, it's quite remarkable. And this department has been able to evolve over that time and remain relevant and impactful.
The first thing I'm going to say is what hasn't changed. Students come in with enthusiasm, energy, and lots of intelligence and commitment to learn. And that's the same now as it was in 1969 when I first stepped onto this campus. What has changed is the level of technology, the background that they have when they come on the campus, and the sophistication of which research is conducted to meet the needs of agriculture, and the methods of distribution are different through extension than they were 100 years ago.
The Ag and Biosystems Engineering Department's research and teaching have both continually responded to the needs of the time. We were leaders. This department helped lead the way with other collaborating departments in precision ag education and now in precision ag research. And it will continue to do that as long as it remains responsive, and that's the way the pathway looks for us, being responsive to needs.
I think the entire university has benefited from the Raven Precision Ag building because to get it built, we had to build relationships, not only with the legislature and the governor, but also with corporate interests and the commodity groups that played such an important role in getting permissions to build it and the funds then to build it. The vision for the Raven Precision Ag Center really came from the leadership team of the College of Agriculture and Biological Sciences back in 2010, 11, and 12. That team of good leaders saw that the facilities that we had in the old Ag and Biosystems engineering facility that was built in the early 1950s, and then the facilities we had in Ag Hall and the plant science building just weren't sufficient for the changes that we foresaw in both teaching research that we needed to be doing to be relevant. So we were ahead of the time. We got planning done. Took a long time, but with good planning and good friends in the legislature and in industry, we were able to listen and get their advice and build a fantastic facility.
The Water Resources Institute was created all the way back in 1964 by the Johnston administration. About the time I came to campus, the Water Resources Institute was looking at water quality projects related to how agriculture impacts water quality. And one big outcome of some of those early studies was just looking at no-till, and that had a pretty significant impact on keeping phosphorus in the field and out of our streams and lakes. The mesonet really came about as a result of the massive 2011 floods of the Missouri River, and it became obvious that while the Army Corps of Engineers tries to do a good job on managing our reservoirs, is that they were just short on enough data to be able to do that as effectively as they could. And so our congressional staff worked with the Army Corps of Engineers on funding that ultimately will fund putting a weather station all the way across South Dakota that will be within 20 miles of every producer in the state. And that actually extends across the whole upper Missouri basin with a total of over 500 weather stations.
Things don't stick around that don't address needs, and this addresses a primary need of the agricultural industry, and it isn't as visible as some of the others because a tractor doesn't directly produce corn, wheat, barley, or whatever, but you don't produce it without the tractor, without the combine. I love the ag engineering program. Got to South Dakota State and couldn't leave. This is a special place with special people, and that needs to continue. And it's going to.
You drive across South Dakota, across southern Minnesota, you see millions of acres of cropland, and probably one of our graduates helped design the tractors, combines, planters, and sprayers that makes all that production possible. And so every time I drive across the state and just look at the vast area that we cover and think that, one of the students that we had come through this program for 4 years is out designing the next generation of equipment, that's really a point of pride.
We're not afraid to look into the future, to anticipate what the needs of agriculture are going to be, and then to adapt or develop new programs as the case may be to meet those needs.
A recent example of a response is creating the Precision Ag Major. That was an exciting thing. That came from listening to the industry. I remember some of those sessions. There'll be more of that. There needs to be more of that in the future. There will be more of that in the future.